Podcast Network Asia.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Welcome to the big time!
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Star.
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles, and you are listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
I don't have the soundboard. You are listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Right here, it's Romaran and Babyface Producer Jasper, who is quickly becoming the fifth man. Fifth man of the show. Kasi everyone else is out of commission this week. Stan has the Asia Basket commentary duties and hosting duties, as far as I know. Chino, I believe, has a gig because stand-up comedy things. Emil is out with his girlfriend, vacationing, well-deserved vacation, and Rowan has school. So the reason, the people we hired specifically to take over in case the original crew isn't available are also not available. So it's you and me, Babyface Producer Jasper. Maybe one day you'll officially be part of the show.
One day, I'm hoping.
But technically you're officially part of the show by virtue of being part of Podcast Network Asia.
Yes.
So yeah, what's up, guys? Thank you for tuning into today's live stream. Got a shout out again, a couple of our friends. See, Aoi, it's Glendale. They're watching us while watching the G1 climax at the same time. I know it's almost over, but like I said, you could be watching just the G1 and then follow, download the episode on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast after. But the fact that you chose to, do picture in picture with us says a lot about, how this has become quite the Thursday tradition. So thank you guys. What up, Joseph? Yeah, Jasper. That's what I'm telling you, man. That's what I'm telling you.
No.
Oh no, Jasper's hot.
No. I have a ring. I'm taking.
How are you, man? How are you, Jasper?
I'm okay. It's really wet out here.
Wait, you have a ring? Are you married?
Not yet. It's
Okay.
just a thing. It's just a thing the kids now do nowadays. But
Oh,
yes, I'm okay.
Alo-
I'm happy to
alo ko
be here
naunahan
in
mo
the
pa ako.
podcast. No. I still have a long way to go.
Same.
Just freshly
Yeah.
graduate last year.
Yeah, congrats on that. You are pretty young, very, very young.
Very young.
Yeah, no, naman pa si Rowan at least. Rowan has not graduated yet. So, again, thank you all for being here tonight. We have not so stacked an episode like last week. Kasi, it's a calm before the storm. We have a premium live event happening on Monday, but I don't know yet if we are going to do a live stream watch party for that. But in case we do, it's time for the plugs. We have the Patreon community as well. Syempre, we do the watch parties. We do the talk of premium live events, pay-per-views from AEW and WWE, and maybe other shows as well. Pag G1, Wrestle Kingdom season now, we'll also be doing an NJPW watch party as well. So if you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/wrestling podcast for only $5 or around 275, 260 pesos, thereabouts. As Aoi said, it is a very small way of supporting the podcast. So I know that some of the perks you get for free are outside, but syempre, if you like what we do here on the podcast, konting support lang. It's only like 275 every month. I know that even though the prices are rising, despite what our president says in his sauna, I think, or I hope rather, that you can still afford a little bit of support our way. Kasi syempre, we are trying to do this maybe not full time just yet, but we do, hope that you appreciate all the content that we throw your way because we do love making the content. So speaking of that content, we sempre have exclusive, not the most super exclusive, but review content of shows: WWE, AEW, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, pay-per-views, and MWF as well, care of Rowan. So you get a lot of our thoughts and a lot of our feelings, especially if you can't watch the podcast live or can't catch the episodes on Spotify. And syempre, if you can't wait for us to dish out our thoughts as well. And syempre, we also have pasabays. We're also working on that. The next one is ideally on Black Friday, which is a few months away. But syempre, may nasa na nangyayari. And who knows? We might do a shipping run, a WWE shop run, AEW shop AEW run, Pro Wrestling Tees run, maybe even like Roots of Fight run. If enough people get to do it. So if you want to get your merch, your official authentic merch from the online stores, you can join and then maglasanan tayo. Who knows? Diba? Again, all of that for only 275 pesos, 260 pesos, thereabouts, $5. Patreon.com/wrestling podcast. It's not there on the scrolling ticker at the bottom of the screen, but it is on our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, all that good stuff. Syempre, we also have our upcoming viewing party, Babyface Producer Jasper, let's put it on, SummerSlam Watch Party on August 6th. That is the next Sunday from this Sunday. Early in the morning. Gates open at 6:30 a.m. The show starts at 8, pero syempre, if you want to get your tables early, if you want to reserve your prime spots, then it's best to be there as early as possible. It will be at Skinny Mike's Sports Bar in Bonifacio Global City. It's the one across Globe Tower, the one beside MC Home Depot. If you guys haven't been there yet, but if you have, syempre, if you know, you know. Tickets are available right now, 400 pesos early bird, online selling up until July 30. So if you don't get your tickets before July 30, wala kang choice but to get the regular or walk-in tickets at the show. It's 500 pesos. But, you can always get them as early as now. snack.ph/geektalkph, snack.ph/geektalk.ph. No dot, just geektalkph. Syempre, we're all going to be there. We're all going to have a fun time. We're going to watch the main event, Jey Uso try to take the championship from the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, in Tribal Combat. And we also have Finn Balor going up against Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Is he going to make Seth Rollins his 7-year bitch? We'll find out together at the show. Yun. But if you can't make it to BGC, if that's too far for you, if you're not from the area, if you're not from the center or south area, syempre meron din watch party from our friends at Hobby Stadium in New Manila, Quezon City. It's free, totally free to go there. But please, let's support their business. Mahiya naman tayo. Let's buy breakfast, coffee. Their food there is top notch. It's a great companion for a morning show. So a lot of options for you guys to watch SummerSlam live. So let's support this and, let's grow the wrestling community in Manila. Maybe someday we can do a watch party in the province. Who knows? All right. Let's move on to the wrestling talk. Thank you so much, Babyface Producer Jasper, for flashing the screens. Let's start the show officially with a talk. Tribal Combat!
Ooh, Tribal Combat!
So here it is. It's official. Roman Reigns going up against Jey Uso in Tribal Combat. The rules are, I don't know if they're super different, but syempre it is going to be a more meaningful, more ethnically, heritage, culturally meaningful. It's an honorable trial by combat. So Solo Sikoa tried to attack Jey Uso, but Roman Reigns would have none of it because syempre, even though he is a manipulative gaslighter, he still wants to do things. He still respects the tribal customs. So Jasper, what do you think of tribal combat? And do you think it's a good enough wrinkle to this particular championship match?
Yeah. So firstly, I would just like to say that it's surprising how WWE has stretched this storyline for so long already, and adding the fact that it all started with Jay, and I hope it ends with Jay. But that's just me. And I get it that we were all cheering for all the possible wrestlers na pwedeng mag-dethrone kay Roman. You know, like there's Drew, there's Cody, and of course my personal choice, Mr. Sami Zayn. But little did we know that it's Jay's story in the end.
Yeah.
Yun.
Syempre, we'll talk about all the creative stuff next week when we predict SummerSlam. Pero syempre, it's pretty cool. We didn't expect a twist. I think we were all okay with the fact now, okay, it's gonna be another one-on-one rematch.
Normal match, yeah.
Normal match. But I think this may effectively bar Solo Sikoa from interfering. Kasi syempre, Roman Reigns didn't want him to, mess this up already. So who knows? I think we'll get a straight up match. No more bloodline shenanigans. Well, to be fair, kasi wala na rin ibang pwedeng mag-shenanigans. Nobody can run in, diba? The Usos are not on his side anymore. And Solo has been told to stand down.
Yeah, he's been eyeing the tribal chief necklace for a while. Yeah.
Do you think that's going anywhere? Do you think I feel like they're only planting the seeds now, and syempre the focus pa rin is Roman versus Jay. So I don't think that Solo thing is going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, I have a feeling kasi I think that super kick that Solo took while Roman prevented the attack is probably the last straw that Solo is gonna tolerate. I have a feeling that he could bring up some. Kasi diba there are a lot of Samoan from their family that are wrestling in the indies that they could probably bring up in the main roster. And
so you're saying they're gonna call up Zilla Fatu from the indies after having his first match.
Yeah, why not?
Rocket strapping him. At least Solo Sikoa went through NXT though.
I mean, it's possible. Could always deliver in just one match, one free match. I don't know. Who knows? Like a Samoan civil war, literally.
Well, this is already the Samoan civil, the Anuai, the Bloodline Civil War. So yeah, tribal combat. I think we will find out more. We do have one more episode of SmackDown, the go home episode, this Friday. I don't know, 2 Fridays pa pala. So 2 more episodes of SmackDown. I don't know how they're gonna stretch it more because they already laid down the law. We talked about this last week that the Bloodline segments haven't been that intense. Like I hope personally I don't feel as much love for it as I did before. It's still good. Yeah. They're still acted pretty well, but until somebody like wrestles a tune-up match or whatever, they're kind of treading on the fact that they're good actors. So I don't know what they're gonna do left here, but let's hope that they have something nice planned for us. Yeah, bring back Rikishi. I think Rikishi deserves to make an appearance here.
One last time.
Oh, diba? I mean, like, family is family, diba? As Dom Toretto likes to say.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the next topic on SmackDown.
Yeah.
LA Knight. Yeah. So the thing that people thought he was gonna win last Friday on SmackDown did not happen.
Again,
LA Knight lost his respective fatal 4-way match as part of the US Championship Invitational. So if I had a nickel for every time Rey Mysterio won over somebody people really like, I would have 2 nickels, which is not that much, but it's surprising that it happened twice.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the first time was Daniel Bryan back in 2014. So now LA Knight, people get blue balls again. So what do you think of this? Are you a big LA Knight fan? I can't remember if we talked about this last time.
Yeah, I am. But I do agree that, like what you said a few episodes ago, like he's not a spring chicken anymore. And again, yeah, I'm upset I feel like LA Knight fans are being played with this false, almost winning LA Knight. It reminded me of like Dolph Ziggler back in 2016
Yeah,
when he was
yeah, yeah.
feuding with the Miz.
The
He
myths,
kept
yeah.
he kept going for the Intercontinental, but people were at his back, and he kept losing. Yeah, I think WWE is like thinking na we're gonna postpone his push, but we're gonna get that momentum back when it's time. Pero little did they know na LA Knight put himself over, not
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to ask Chat. We've seen this before. Yes, people have been traumatized by how Vince likes to blue balls everyone, diba? To edge people, if you will. Uh, do you guys trust that Triple H has a grander plan in store for LA Knight? Because he's already doing that with Cody now. Diba? Cody's going through the gauntlet. But the thing with Cody is he is proven product, diba? Like we
Yeah.
all know that Cody has to win at the end, and he's just doing the longer hero's journey for now. But do you guys believe that LA Knight is being, pulled back to slingshot him even further? What do you guys think in the chat? Let us know, and we'll sound it out. We'll respond. But I go, Jasper. Do you think that do you trust that there is a bigger plan in place for LA Knight?
I think ito na yun yung the US thing kasi they didn't give him the money in the bank. What's the other one? Kasi the Intercontinental is like it's Drew's story and Gunther, and then there's the World Heavyweight Champion. There's like Damien Priest and Finn and Seth. So where does he go after that? Does he go back to NXT? That's weird.
So you think that because there's no other place for LA Knight to go, there is like a master plan here. Na they'll be doing the thing. They'll eventually be pushing LA Knight, despite despite it seeming like they're ignoring the will of the people.
I hope so, because like you said, there's only 1 week left before SummerSlam. I hope they pull something like a Brock Lesnar in Money in the Bank and gets the Money in the Bank without him being in the card officially.
Yeah. Okay, so let's read off the chat right now. Leo is hoping for a push after SummerSlam, which might be the case because I think they already had the long-term plans in place for SummerSlam. Kaya they can't, di sila pwedeng kumabig basta-basta. Even though, people love LA Knight. So I think it's a matter of patience. Ina says, yes, trust Triple H is creative. JK says he trusts Hunter in this. Glendale says he trusts Triple H. If they push Knight now, he might go Cena na bigla siyang ibabu for being over it. That's a good point, actually.
That's a good point.
I hope that you guys see that, LA Knight's ring work. I don't want to trash him because we're all wrestlers here, but it is kind of basic. And I don't say that in a bad way. Some people might not like that. Some people might like that. But, if you thrust him in that spot, it's on him to sink or swim. But kasi not everyone can be like The Rock, who simplified his moveset, diba? Bruce says he wants LA Knight as US champ. Howie says yes and no. Yes, because it's about damn time and he's a hot commodity now. No, because they probably don't see him as a long-term champion. Well, what do you think? Do you see him as a long-term champion? I thought there's another thing that I forgot to bring up here. There are some backstage reports care of Wade Keller from The Torch that says that LA Knight may be rubbing people the wrong way in backstage. What do you think of that? Because to me, even though that may be true, and I can say this from firsthand experience, even though he might not be the most personable guy backstage, you do still have to push him because he is getting the cheers about. Yeah, he is getting the views. Like, if you go to the YouTube page, the YouTube channel in the WWE, he is really driving the views for WWE. Parang yung mga videos with LA Knight are far and away the most viewed by the people, by the universe.
Yeah, you remember the one that he showed up in the pre-show with Hit Row too.
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
lot of views after being posted. And adding yung shirt sales niya is like one of the top sellers nowadays too.
I mean, if they were able to push Cena despite Cena being kind of a dick back in his younger years, then why
Why
can't
not
you push?
LA?
Yeah. Siguro the only thing is, as long as he's not super toxic, then I think that he should still get pushed despite being not the best guy backstage.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe it's a matter of people not understanding his personality. I hope it is because otherwise I don't see why he shouldn't be pushed at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else to get off your chest about Mr. Knight?
No,
Jasper?
I just hope he finds a way to be part of the match. We really need it.
Right.
The LA Knight fans need it.
Yeah. Derv says he hopes that it doesn't turn into another Enzo. That's true. Yeah. Enzo was super over. And then
Was toxic at backstage.
yeah, it was super. Well, Nina was just super toxic, but he was not the best force backstage. Alam mo yun. Tapos he got that false accusation about him, and that was an excuse for them to get rid of him. Yeah. All right, so let's take a quick break before we move on. We have some great American Bash predictions for NXT, and then we have some more things to talk about after this, especially AEW. So let's hear from our fellow podcast and Podcast Network Asia. All right, we're back. Just want to clarify something I said earlier. I said that Jasper was going to be the fifth man. I forgot we were five already. So if you ever become a part of the podcast officially, Jasper, you would become the sixth man. And you would become like Marlon Wayans. I don't know if you were old enough to catch the sixth man in cinemas, but man, you would be the sixth man who is alive. Anyway, let's move on to Great American Bash is happening on Monday morning, our time. I do not know yet if we are going to do a small watch party on Patreon because we do have access to the network. And I know you guys miss some of the network exclusive PLEs. So, yeah, if you want to catch this live, you know what to do. Subscribe to patreon.com/wrestling podcast. Otherwise, there are ways to watch it after the show. No pressure, naman. It's just something that we would like to do. All right, so we have 6 matches on the main card. And that's quite a bit for an NXT card, but lately they've been knocking it out of the park. I know that NXT isn't on everyone's radar, but the last Premium Live event was one of the better shows, or one of the best show that happened on that weekend. So let's move on to our first match on the card, Jasper. Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport in a Weapons Wild match. I think that just means a hardcore match. Their big segment this week on NXT was, yes, JK, there was a pre-show match, but I don't want to get into that so much because it's kind of a mess. So this one is, they had a quick convenience store brawl on NXT.
It's like the Stone Cold and the...
Yeah, exactly. So, may involvement pa ng police, no? So, officially, Roxanne Perez is a fugitive, and since everyone knows where she is, she's like the Apollo Kiboloy of NXT without the grave accusations,
Yikes.
All right, who's going to win this? Because both women need this. Roxanne has been on a downward trend since losing the NXT Women's Championship. I know she's had the anxiety storyline, but Blair Davenport is also one of the rising forces on NXT. Yes, Bruce, she is the wife or girlfriend, I'm not sure what their official status is right now, of Will Ospreay. Partner. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know if they're married. I can't remember. I know ko lang is they are partners. Yes,
they are partners.
She left NJPW to be in NXT UK. So, yun, it's tough for me to pick this one. What do you think, Jasper?
Oh, my money's on Blair Davenport because it shows from before she they split na daw pala. So,
Yeah, and they
yun
split. Deserve naman. I don't think I don't think Will deserves Bia here.
Okay. Anyway, I think Blair Davenport needs this because she just came back and it shows na she's been on a roll in putting women on the shelf, and it shows.
Yeah, JK is right here. Blair for the win because she recently returned to NXT. Well, not recently because she's been here for quite a while. Pero she does need she does need the people to know who she is. Because
Yeah,
not
it's about
everyone here watches NXT UK, diba?
UK. Yeah, it's about
Yeah,
time.
so must have miss kasi Meiko Satomura, I think. But you know, it is what it is. She's doing coaching, I believe, as a performance center. But yeah, I agree that Blair needs to win. You do need to establish her as a big force in the women's division. I don't know how that's going to work out if Tiffany Stratton retains, but we'll talk about that later on. Right.
Mm.
So again, we're in agreement. Blair Davenport. So again, let's move on. Tag team championship match: Gallus versus the D'Angelo family. So I don't know if you guys have been listening to our audio only segments on the show, but in those parts, I talk about how I really love the D'Angelo family's complicated storyline and explained naman nila last week. So they're now it was all a way for them to get back at Gallus for their antagonism a while back, and now they have a tag team championship match. And I have thoughts on this, but I wanted to get your thoughts, Jasper. Who is going to win the NXT Tag Team Championship? This is going to be the D'Angelo family's time.
I'm not quite sure because my friend actually told me this. I think he's watching right now. He told me
What's
that
up,
there's a possibility that Stax is gonna turn on D'Angelo.
Yes. So I was going to talk about that because
Shout out to Kobe.
Hey, Kobe. Kobe. I still think that Stax is gonna turn on the Tony because there was so much story told in the lead up to this that I don't think it's gonna be like basta-basta sila magiging friends pa rin.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna lose. Stax is gonna turn, and Gallus, even though they're not much honestly as tag team champions. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Gallus, but they're not. They're just there as tag team champions. So I think the big story pa rin is going to be Tony D and Stax feuding. Or maybe Tony D and Stax will win and then they'll lose eventually and then Stax will turn.
Yeah.
What up, Mon? Mon from all the way on the other side of the world, just waking up, I believe, from Canada. Good morning, man. All right. So, who do you pick? So I'm guessing you pick Gallus.
Gallus. Yeah. My money's on Gallus.
Gallus retains, but Tony turns, says Aoi. That's interesting, but the money for me is on Stax turning. Kasi
Right
Tony
away.
is pretty over as a babyface.
Babyface, yeah.
All right. So let's move on. Gable Steveson versus Baron Corbin. Baron already ended the career of one Olympic gold medalist, and now he is trying to do it for a second one. Okay, this is interesting. I think we all know what's going to happen here, but Baron Corbin is also undergoing his own transformation in NXT, diba? So NXT is apparently now atapunan ng mga biktima ng creative ni Vince McMahon. So it's now a rehab for everyone who has had bad creative on the main roster. So it is kind of a little more complex than it looks. Kasi on one hand, you do have Gable Steveson, diba? I mean, he is the golden boy of American Olympic wrestling. But also, do you derail Baron Corbin even more, even now that he's, trying to find himself?
The lone wolf returns.
Diba? I don't know what that's all about. He faced his clone last week in this weird Tiki Torch place. It's like Final Fantasy 16 all over again for those who got to play the game. He's apparently the dark side. I don't know what's happening here. So it's weird. Normally you'd say Gable for the win, but does Gable win here? I mean, there are reports here that say that Gable hasn't really taken well into to pro wrestling just yet. So I don't know. I don't know. It's tough because Baron Corbin is still the main roster guy. So I don't think it's as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
Aoi says he is, or he might be one of the few who is actually excited to see Gable versus Baron Corbin. That's interesting. I think it will be a good match. People like to underrate Baron Corbin because of his really shitty Vince McMahon gimmicks, but he really is a good wrestler. He's capable in the ring.
He's one of the underrated ones, gotta say.
So I don't know. Yeah, definitely underrated. I've been a fan of Corbin even when it was cool for people to hate him. So there is something there. Feeling ko, yeah, nag-die down na nga yung Gable hype. Mon is right here. So I think he could eat a loss here. My money is on Corbin because he is going through it and the transformation. So what good is the transformation, diba, if you lose right away? The whole point of the whole thing, diba, was that he lost to Carmelo Hayes. Tapos, you're going to make him lose again? So that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's messed up. Yeah, my money's on Baron Corbin as well. Yeah, I don't know much about Gable Stevenson in his performance in WWE except for a couple of German suplexes here and there. Pero Corbin should win because he's probably, I would call him, and me and my friend Kobe would call him like the gatekeeper of NXT, and it shows.
Yeah.
If you want a good Gable is at the main roster. His name's Chad Gable.
Mon asks, how long has it been since Gable was drafted? I believe he was drafted in 2021 draft.
Sabay niya si Finn Balor.
Yeah, he was drafted to Raw, and then all of a sudden he is on NXT. Which dapat lang naman, diba? Dapat naman talaga. So yeah, so I think we're all in agreement that Corbin should take this one. Yun. The North American Championship, Dirty Dom versus Mustafa Ali versus Wesley. Okay, so it is pretty complicated. I don't know at this point if the Dom win last week was planned or if it was a last minute thing because the Judgment Day are so over and Dom is so over as a heel that they decided to boost NXT. So last week it seemed like Ali versus Dom was in the cards, and then this week, like I predicted, kumabig sila and they made the triple threat like I thought they were going to do. Because syempre, how do you not include Wesley after he lost the championship to Dirty Dom? Diba? So my pick for this is that Ali wins because I think that Wesley was supposed to graduate, quote unquote, from the North American Championship scene anyway, and it was supposed to be Ali's to win, and then siningit na nila si Dom because of the popularity of Judgment Day.
I think Dom's gonna probably retain. I don't think Mustafa is gonna win.
What? What?
Well, it's like adding coal to the fire of more hate to him, and plus it's giving more exposure to NXT since he's bringing an NXT belt in the main roster, and more NXT talents could come up in the main event, in the main roster as well. And adding also, it helps Dom in the Judgment Day storyline too.
Ako kasi I'm a big Mustafa Ali fanboy, and I think he's been denied of a singles championship for so long.
For so long.
Like, yeah. Like, yes, I get it. Nah, this is gonna be like a big prominent story for Ali. I think they are headed for Ali versus Wesley because the NXT segment, the segment on NXT yesterday was Ali exhibiting signs of a heel turn, diba? So he was kind of a dick to Wesley. So I think that's where the feud is headed. But I think that it should be for the championship. Kasi, like, we all want Ali to win the championship. Parang, the guy deserves it. And he's been putting in so much work that it's so unfair that he doesn't get to win a championship after all this. Just because Dominic Mysterio is super over as a heel. Like, oh, you did your job. You did the thing. But yeah, you're right, though, that there is still a lot of ground to be covered with Dominic being the North American champion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't completely disagree with Mustafa not winning because he did deserve it because he's been handed over a lot of opportunities. Actually, he earned some, most of it,
Mhm.
I would say, but he kept losing. Because I don't know why. Maybe at this point the storyline is like he's getting a little more bitter, given
Ah,
kasi he kept losing, kaya almost nag-heel turn na siya.
bitter o hampo siya. Tama. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's just weird because he was already heel and then they turned him face for Night of Champions and then they're turning him heel again. So, ang daming pinagdadaanan ni Mustafa Ali and I just wanted to just book him right. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
just
He is such a good ambassador kasi to the Middle East that how do you keep fucking it up? It's
yeah,
messed up.
it's messed
All
up.
right, let's move on. Thea Hale versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is the NXT Women's Champion. This is for the NXT Women's Championship. Thea Hale is good. Prodigy. Not so much a prodigy, but she is developing well as a wrestler, especially with the short side quest with Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. But Tiffany Stratton is pretty good, and I think she deserves to stay champion. I think this is obviously going to be a Tiffany retention.
Yeah, I do agree. It's Tiffany because though Thea Hale may be good, but she's not on Tiffany's level yet. I think
Yeah.
she's gonna be holding that belt for a while because most of the women roster right now are not yet not yet in Tiffany's level. I don't know what's with her, pero she's like the full package already because
Yeah. No, I agree. I think she took to pro wrestling well because I believe she was a gymnast before this. So
Oh.
may strong base of athleticism siya. It's just that syempre not all athletes can adapt well to the pro wrestling style. I think she gets it. And then
Yeah.
she knows how to move well in the ring. She understands what she has to do in the ring. And because of that, she's been rewarded. So I think mataas yung ceiling niya.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I agree that she's pretty good. And I think this is a good run for her. All right, I think we're
gonna be
all
a
in
long-
agreement. Yeah. Tiffany is the new Mandy Rose. I don't know what you mean by that. Because
That's
Tiffany
not
is already
fair.
a lot
fair.
better than Mandy Rose was here. I mean, Mandy has developed well as a wrestler, pero must prodigy see Tiffany here because
Tiffany
she
didn't
is
need the development aid. Ano
the
yun?
what? The
Time?
what? The what?
Tiffany didn't need the development time
No,
compared
she
to
did.
Mandy. She
What's up,
did?
Ivan? Yeah, she did. No, have you seen her no pisad? She wasn't, she was still pretty green in the beginning. But I mean, now
Oh,
she is much more far along.
mas refined.
Julian, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did because she really is a good gymnast. She's pretty good there. Yun, I think we're in agreement. Tiffany to retain. Let's move on to the main event. Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. Before we give the pick, what do you think of this whole storyline? Because to me, they were doing this weird, ambiguous tension between Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, which I think is redundant with the whole Mustafa Ali and Wesley thing, which is why I didn't think it was landing well for me.
Yeah, it gets a pretty little stale kasi it's a very repetitive thing. Pero
Yeah.
I hope things change on Monday kasi what happened right now is yun nga yung sinabi ni Ilya, like, yung he has respect for him kasi he's loyal kasi he took a bullet for Williams, and
Right.
yeah, and then it's in its time, like, you can see the intensity, you can feel the intensity of Ilya and how he's gonna win that belt.
Well, who's your pick now? Who's your pick?
Ilya,
Ilya is
it's
your pick.
time.
Okay.
It's time.
Yeah, I agree. I think it boils down to who will go up to the main roster. Kasi feeling ko, either one of these guys, if either one of these guys lose, they will go up. Melo has been scouted for the main roster, for sure, because we've seen him interact with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Yeah. But Ilya is a long tenured veteran and deserving. Yeah, he's been rumored for plans to join Imperium. Either of these guys could both win the championship and could go to the main roster. So I don't know who to pick here. I do want to pick Ilya because he does deserve it, but also I do also want him to go to the main roster. So I do not know who I'm gonna pick here.
Kasi he's done most of the things na rin kasi sa NXT. If he wins the NXT belt, he's gonna be the first wrestler to win the UK champion and then the NXT belt too.
Talaga ba? For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Di ba? Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He won't.
Yeah. Kasi Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
Right,
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
I mean, if you're gonna consider yung kay Braun break when they unified the belt.
No, that doesn't count. No, it doesn't count. Okay, sige, I'm gonna agree with an Ilya win kasi I feel like WWE values Carmelo Hayes and maybe Trick Williams more as characters.
Yeah.
But maybe, what if they do a Trick Williams turn? I feel like that's also possible. May naamoy ako na feeling ko magta-turn sila.
It's a lot of backstabbing in wrestling.
Yeah, I know, but it's a thing in wrestling, a lot of backstabbing goes on.
It happens.
Melo and Trick did meet up with Bobby. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I saw that on SmackDown. So okay, sige, that kind of solidifies it all. Sige. Ilya wins so that Melo can move up. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for our Are we done for our NXT Great American Bash predictions? We have one more thing to talk about for WWE, but we will go to a break first and hear from our fellow podcast and Podcast Network Asia for one more time. Okay, before we have AEW left to talk about, but before we do that, we have an AEW adjacent topic. Let's move on. Let's show the slides, Jasper. All right, so Brian Pillman has apparently signed with WWE after his AEW contract expired. I don't know if Tony Khan didn't renew him or he just decided not to renew. But the son of Brian Pillman is headed to his home, WWE. And Jasper, did you follow Brian Pillman Jr.? Because he wasn't that much of a featured player in AEW because he was kind of still in his developmental stage. So he was mostly on Dark, and then he did a few spots on Dynamite, especially when they were in Cincinnati, his hometown. So what do you think of this?
To be honest, I could... and then I'm interested where they're taking Brian Pillman Jr. in WWE. Because I'm a little fan of him during yung feud niya with Malakai. Pero
right.
Unfortunately, he got really lost in the shuffle after all that. Yung nag-turn si Julia Hart and all. And I don't know if it's just Tony Khan booking at this point, but I did see some potential on him during those times. I just hope na like he doesn't do he doesn't copy the gimmick of Mr. Senior.
Yeah. I don't think he will naman kasi syempre that was controversial. Albert asks, what happened to the Varsity Blondes? Well, they kind of stopped teaming kasi I think Griff Garrison got injured. Tapos, Brian Pillman just started teaming with other people. I think he teamed with Brock Anderson. This is someone from Dark as well. So to me, I feel like Tony Khan not utilizing Brian Pillman Jr. as much was a miss kasi people love Brian Pillman Sr., diba? Like, Brian Jr. was kind of medyo a dumb kid, but he had potential, and I think that he should have been given time and exposure the same way Tony Khan would give the time to guys like Jungle Boy and Hook. So, sayang yun. I think WWE got a big acquisition in the son of Brian Pillman. So, Julian asks if he's going to get a name change. Maybe considering the way they have tried to trademark names in NXT. Kasi diba, Braun Breaker didn't become a Steiner in NXT. So there is a good chance that
they could rename him.
They could rename him. But at the same time, Dragon Lee didn't get a name change. So who knows? Maybe they will bank on the Brian Pillman Jr. Name. It's possible. I think both can happen. I think there's a good 50-50 chance that both will happen. But with the way that they produce and develop talents in the performance center. You guys have seen how good the NXT guys are right now. Brian Pillman developing in NXT in the performance center, going to be big for him. So watch out for that.
Hell yeah.
Right. Let's move on to AEW. Before we talk about our scheduled AEW topic here, just wanted to bring up the background I have. Pac versus Gravity, booked by Tony Khan. So apparently Gravity is the younger brother of Bandito. So that's how he got a spot. Because I was wondering why does this random luchador named Gravity have a spot bigla on AEW and ROH? So this is the answer, because he is the brother of Bandito. And Tony Khan, syempre, it's an in-joke to people who watch NXT. He booked him against Pac, who used to be the man Gravity forgot. Kasi if you didn't know that, Excalibur explained it on commentary. To me, ang bobo niya in a good way. Na it's so fucking stupid.
It's so
Tony Khan really booked a match between Gravity and Pac so that everyone can make the joke about Pac being the man Gravity forgot. Buti na lang natahin nila with the current feud versus Claudio Castagnoli. So meron pa rin siyang something, but God, it's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
But it just made you laugh though.
Yeah, it made you laugh, but for like 1 minute when they did the whole thing in the match.
When just forget about it.
Or Pac was saying, "Oh, look at me, it's me. I'm the guy you." God, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yun lang naman. So let's move on to AEW. One thing that we'll talk about. AEW was kind of uneventful this week, other than the fact that Jon Moxley is now targeting Orange Cassidy for the International Championship, and AR Fox has joined Mogul Embassy. We have the rise of Ricky Starks. So if you guys have watched Collision regularly, they're doing their own thing on Collision. So mas WWE yung style na sa Collision. Last Saturday, they did the whole Adam Pearce thing where they opened the show with a segment and then they booked that show's main event in that segment. So usually, what Dynamite does, or what Tony Khan does for Dynamite, is that they announce next week's show entirely. Diba? So you know what's coming. So for this one, they are focusing on their core group of guys, and then they're apparently making matches for the main event. So that's now in AEW. And to me, it's weird because they are literally copying the WWE playbook, and they still won't admit that they're copying from the WWE playbook. Kasi the part where it bothers me is where Tony Khan is so pretty bitter about the WWE, and then yung pala they'll gagayahin lang nila yung style.
Yeah.
So anyway, Leia says Starks will turn heel and then turn face. He already turned heel, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to turn face, but he already turned heel. CM Punk is very clearly a face because even though he gets booed in some places, he is still pretty much a good guy that they are pushing as a guy to cheer for. So in a sense, he is John Cena with an edge, you know. So yun, what do you think about Ricky Starks though? Because for me, Ricky Starks was doing just fine as a face because he got over as an organic babyface after the implosion.
Too.
Yeah, by himself after the implosion of Team Taz, and then Tony Khan didn't want to do anything big with him after that, and now he's pushing him, but as a heel. So parang sayang na. But to be fair though, he's really killing it as a heel. So
Yeah.
what do you think of this? Is this much better for him?
Oh, well, in my opinion, I just feel a little nostalgic about this heel turn because if I'm not mistaken, this is
Why?
well, but when he held the FTW belt, he was a heel with Taz Crew, the Taz Crew with Hobbs and Hook. He was doing a little well during that time, but I wouldn't deny that he's doing really better nowadays. But you know, why are they booking Ricky Starks as a heel when when he's winning, but when he's losing, they book him as a babyface. That's a little. It's a weird coincidence, and especially now
Yeah,
that he's working with Punk.
yeah. Well, to be fair, kasi mas made that thing siya as a heel. I can't deny that he's really good as a
Yeah,
heel,
I'm
as a
not gonna
cocky
deny
heel.
that too.
His swagger is off the charts when he's a heel. I don't think kasi that translates as much as a face. Like he tries put in, but when he is a dick, when he's an arrogant dick, that he is much more fun to watch. So I'm kind of conflicted because I really wanted to cheer him. It's like MJF. You really want to cheer MJF. So you want him to do cheerable things. So now that he has to be a heel and I have to boo him, technically, it's kind of sad. Kasi hindi aligned yung gusto natin for him. So yun lang, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Like, is Ricky Starks much better this way, or is he? Did you want to see him as a face? Did you want to cheer for him as a face? But I do think though that this heel character is good. It's what he needs to take him to the top. Because you're right. He was doing this when he was FTW champion, and it was working for him. And I think they are headed for a specific world championship feud between him and Punk.
God,
So, diba, I think they're doing this thing where they might be introducing a second championship for Collision, because Punk is still talking about the whole I'm champion because you didn't beat me. Oh, there's Kobe. What up, Kobe?
CM Punk ain't telling no lies, as he said.
I guess, yeah. So they're still harping on the fact that Punk is still champion, even though they're not pushing it so much right now. But it's still in his back pocket. So feeling ko they are headed for a world championship thing for Collision itself. So what do you think? Do you think that's gonna happen too?
I hope so. I'm just hoping that he gets to be what he has to be. Because I think being a heel, I think him being a heel is his forte na. It's no doubt about it. Yun na yung full form niya.
Yeah, I guess you're right. In wrestling, then there are people who are made to be heels, and there are people who are made to be faces. So, wala, ganun talaga. It is just a thing that happens. So, yeah. I guess the future is bright for absolute Ricky Starks. Yeah, that's it for our wrestling talk for this week. It's kind of a light week, especially with only one PLE of NXT happening on Monday. I'm sure it's going to be much more loaded when we get back to the stream on Thursday next week. Yun, let's get to our plugs. Jasper, do you have any plugs?
No, but I have a shout out to my tag team partner Kobe.
Hey,
Hello.
What up, Kobe? Why are you tag team partners? Can you talk about that?
Now we're just
a little bit.
We've been friends since kinder, and we started like a
Wow.
wrestling club in grade school.
What?
And like we imitate wrestlers, and I imitated Jeff Hardy. I kept diving in the library shelves. I think
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we got banned for a year there.
Oh, dapat lang kasi you're not supposed to try this at home and in school or anywhere.
No.
That's why they say that stuff.
Yeah, but that's
what year was this? What year was this?
Like grade 3 or grade 4.
Yeah, what year was that?
I think this is like what year was Jeff Hardy was a WWE champion when he beat
WWE champion 2009. I am fucking old. I was 19 in that year. Jesus. Bruce, would you recognize, if you were a school admin, would you recognize a club of kids wrestling each other for real and jumping off of shelves?
Yeah, it's the Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Dapat lang naban kayo. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right. For my plugs, I have a couple of plugs to get to. First off, Unmasked episode 7 is out today, earlier this morning. So, walang stories about the old days for this week. It's the first episode kasi that we have recorded since the show premiered. So, we had a mid-season catch-up, if you will, between myself and ABL. And we talk about our vacations. I went to Singapore and I trained wrestling with Grapple Max there for one night. Could have trained more, but I didn't, because I, had to do some vacation-y things. If I come back soon, maybe I will. So yun, please catch that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Doon pa lang pwedeng panood, pwedeng pakinggan. So if you have if you want to learn more about the stories and my my time as a wrestler, as an active wrestler, please go follow and subscribe and listen to Unmasked. And if you haven't watched or if you haven't listened to the other episodes yet, please do. I guarantee it's going to be fun. If you don't know much about Philippine wrestling, that's a good place to start. And speaking of Philippine wrestling, we have a TV deal. Manila Wrestling Federation is on RJ's Rock of Manila TV. We officially launched the channel earlier this week, and we have a schedule now. I believe it's going to air. MWF Action Revela TV is going to air on Rock of Manila TV on Mondays. Just checking the official time, but I believe it's either 7 or 9. Sorry, I'm so bad at plugging. But it's going to be on prime time. I think it's at 9 p.m. or 7. Wait. I'm like checking it right now, but you can catch it on Sky Cable channel 229 or 299. Shit, I'm so bad. But it's also going to be on digital cable boxes on RJ Manila's Rock of Manila TV's Facebook page and YouTube. So please do catch that. Syempre, Sky Cable 229, free TV, channel 29.4. Meron pa ng channel 29.4. May 0.4 pala. So you don't have to have cable. Yeah, if you don't have cable, it's on free TV. It's on digital TV boxes as well. So yun, it's confirmed Mondays at 9. Tapos syempre, yun, thank you Julian. Mas alam mo pa yung schedule kaysa sa akin. And not only that, the original Pinoy Wrestling will also be showing on Rock of Manila TV on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. as well. So if you want to catch the older Philippine wrestling, the OGs who have paved the way for all of us here, you could catch that on Rock of Manila TV as well. So alam nila may demand for the OG Pinoy Wrestling guys, the OG Pinoy Wrestling footage. And I saw from our friends who were there at the launch that they have the entire library of tapes from the Pinoy Wrestling days. So I think you will be getting the whole deal. Syempre, I think they'll be airing it sequentially on Rock of Manila TV. So please do catch that. Again, it's on Sky Cable 229, free TV, channel 29.4, and digital TV boxes, and the YouTube and Facebook live streams of Rock of Manila TV. Yun. And syempre, if you want to catch the episodes before they air on Rock of Manila TV, there is still Gank. So you can go subscribe to Gank. Gank subscribers get the episodes first. ManilaWrestling.com for only $10. That's around 600 pesos. 600 pesos for Gank kasi they are trying to make money as well. So get Gank coins. You can pay via GCash, debit card, and credit card. And there are so many ways to pay and support your local wrestlers and the local wrestling scene on Manila Wrestling Federation. Please, guys, please watch the TV broadcast because the work we do, myself, the work I do as a commentator and announcer, you can only hear that doon sa TV broadcast. Kasi watching it live is one thing. It's a different experience, pero the final polished, finished product is on TV. So yun, please do support us as we, take Philippine wrestling back to the television airwaves. It's been what you were asking for. So eto na. Yeah. Syempre, please follow us on TikTok as well at Wrestling2XPod, on Twitter at Wrestling2XPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Wrestling Podcast. Yun. Wala pa kaming threads eh. So, ano yan? Once Threads figures out how to do the switching of accounts really easily, we'll get on Threads. But yun. Follow us on Twitter as well at RoisWar, at _Stancy, at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, that's NITE, and at Chino Supersize to hear more of our wrestling takes on Twitter. So yun, if you want to talk wrestling with us, you can talk to us over there. Yun, that's it for this week's episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Thank you to Babyface Producer Jasper for being here with me, and syempre the other producers and managers and staff of Podcast Network Asia. You guys are great for doing what you do. And syempre, tuloy-tuloy lang ang ng ating experience on Podcast Network Asia. So for Babyface Producer Jasper and for my missing co-hosts who are not here, this has been Romoran, and this has been the Wrestling Podcast, guys. Please stay safe, please stay dry and warm at home. Please be nice, be good, and do well wherever it is, whether you're working or at school, right? Wrestling Podcast out. Peace.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or